Hello, everybody. I was gonna say, usually someone redeems first. Hey, Mr. Extremely. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, today, what are we doing? Adam is getting ready for Steam's, for, I guess, hey, Spike, checkpoint number 5 on January, I don't remember the date. I really need to look into this. What is it? 17th. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. We gotta update that. Oh, I think this is in my notes. January, yeah. Then Steam's Idler Fest. Steam Idle Fest? Idle Fest? Idler Fest. They don't even, not even showing through here. Idler Fest, yeah. Then Steam's Idler Fest and Next Fest. Yeah. There will be some miscellaneous work in the next couple of weeks. All right, cool. We're going to start with what I usually start with on Monday, which is my tenant review, just to make sure I'm on track with this stuff. Tenant review. Okay, sustainability. I still don't know if I needed a break, but it was nice to take one. I think I should get back to normal this week, although I'm unsure whether I'm going to take New Year's Day off. All right, bricklaying. I think we did most of the important stuff. There's just one important checkpoint 5 task left to do other than prep for the Steam demos. And that's something I'm hoping to tackle this week. What is it? It's showing which actions are available in the game. Breaks. Going better now that I've focused on it. It's still not super regular, but I'm fine with that. And successes. Successes from last week. Let's see. It's the 30th right now. Oh yeah, finished the third of 3 mentoring series. That was 26 sessions over the course of about a year. And pretty happy with how I found this Godot issue. By the way, Godot people responded on the issue. So for those who didn't follow, on Friday, most of the time was spent looking into this, which is I was doing something, I wasn't sure what exactly, that was causing a crash, and it was in Godot. So I thought, okay, I should report this to Godot, right? And the response was pretty much just don't do that. And that's fine. I still think there's something that needs to be changed in Godot, and this person at least agreed with me saying we should probably just hide this API entirely or change the documentation. So I don't see this as a waste of time or anything. I got more insight into this, and yeah, I think it was pretty good. And that's what we're going to spend this morning doing, is cleaning up after this issue. And yeah, that was it. Those are the big successes. I think things are going pretty well. Can you show me the structure of directories for notes? So I'll show you the root level, but I don't want to show you too much because there's a lot of private stuff here. If I just show you this, so we have attachments, which I mean are pretty straightforward. It's images. Private, which I'm not going to ever show you, and public, which I definitely can show you. And the public folder looks like this. We have shared and unshared. And then for all the stuff that's shared, you have access to it directly on notes@adamlearns.com. So you can go right through this and see the exact directory structure. All the sections on the left are names of folders. So if I go into the shared notes and look at LS, you should see something like Godot Game Engine over here. Yeah, Godot Game Engine underneath, which is Godot. Yeah, this is the structure I use. I think it could be a little bit better, but you know, I just haven't put the time into it. Hey Tofu, hope you had a good holiday. Got my Skeleseller hoodie from Amazon, very comfy. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I did have a good holiday. I hope you did too. Hope everyone did. And the holidays aren't done yet. We got what, 2 more days and then it's New Year's. And I think 2025 will be pretty interesting because one way or another, I want to launch Skeleseller in 2025. So I'm excited about that. And then I've got to figure out what happens after that. Yeah. Hey, Sodium Overdose, nice name. What plugins do you use with Obsidian? None. Literally none. I just use the default Obsidian. The only reason, wait, hang on a second. Engage privacy mode. Hang on, let me just make sure I don't have, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I can show you this. Yeah, I don't use anything special. Hey, Kevin. All right, so let's get started. We've done tenants. I have to finish this stuff. We had to fix any other calls to free. And I started to do this, but I didn't finish it. How do we find this? /b/parentheses. Yeah, there aren't that many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there are 4 left. Okay, hey Schwartz. All right, this one definitely could have been a queue free. So I think this should just be an easy win. And I don't even know, where do we set this to is null or empty? We got to make sure we're not doing anything silly here. Here's 1. Why do we do this? End battle screen. We just don't show this. Yeah, I don't think this should matter. Because we never checked to see if this thing exists, right? Yeah. I don't think this matters. Queue free. Doesn't that mean that this... That's a bit peculiar. I think what we need to do is set this to a label question mark now. Yeah. Spiro, hey, thanks for the raid. I was there for your, I forgot your wording exactly, unhinged rant about web developers. Well, I was there for part of it. And I have slowly been watching what I would call a descent into madness of your stream titles. So what's going on, Spiro? Thank you for the raid and welcome in, everybody. Calling people out on live TV. I mean this in the best of humors. Hope you're doing well. Got to remember to have a good stream. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Well, take care. Hope everything's going okay with you. For those who are new to this stream, I am working on a game called Skeleseller, and I'll just show you the itch page for now. Normally I demo the game or something, but I'm in kind of an intermediate state. But it's a town management game where you hire adventurers, they do battle, you sell their items. That's the short story of it. Hey, Magnetic Bind. I am doing well. How have your holidays been? I'm pretty excited about all the stuff that's about to be going on. Like I said, we're trying to get into Idler Fest and Next Fest for Steam. And I just counted, I think we're at 367 wish lists for the game. I hope that these push us above 1,000 and ideally like well above 1,000. I have no idea what kind of exposure to expect from that stuff. And if anyone's watching this and is like, you know what? I do like Skeleseller and I'd love to click this button, then there's a green button that you can click. But yeah, it's just going to be mostly coding work today. So this can be null. So we should probably set it to null to begin with. And then these things don't necessarily exist. So this is label horizontal alignment equals center. If it doesn't exist, I don't think we even care. Maybe that's what we want to do. Oh, whoops, this needs to be underscore, yeah. And then I don't need to write null twice. There's an echo in here. All right, label that horizontal value. Can I do that? I can't do that. Fine. If label equals null. This is kind of stupid. Yeah, this is kind of stupid. I think what we need to do instead is just hide the label. Why did I not do that? Able.q free. Had a good holiday. Went back to the other side of the country to visit family. Ah, nice, 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 nice. Yeah. By the way, I remember where your family lives, and those plane trips are still like I think they're still too long. I always get on them and I'm like, this won't be too bad. It's nothing like flying to India or something, right? And then enough hours pass, and I'm just like, ugh. Although you might be able to get a direct flight, I guess. Hey, who cares? Happy Monday. You can Python and C sharp. What? Oh, that is not null? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Don't take space in the UI. I think we could have just called hide on this. I'm not actually sure why we wouldn't have done that. So now let's go figure out if that works. I want to revert this stuff. Let's just save it as garbage and then fix it like this. Done. Okay. Does that work? So we don't clear this anymore, but we should. I don't like this, and I don't like this. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I have some clarity here. Label.hide. All right. I hope this looks good. Let's go try this out. We need to look at the end battle screen. Had a couple bad layovers. Hope to never have another in my life. A layover or a bad layover? Obviously not bad layovers, but are you hoping to avoid any layovers? Because I was going to say that does sometimes limit where you can travel to. Although maybe you don't want to travel to those places where you need a layover. Man, that's not good. I think the character is just stuck there because the tutorial. Oh, I see why. Parameter entity. Oh God. All right, time to fix that, I guess. This isn't ready. Do we have an init here? We don't. I'm not totally sure why this isn't working. Get party members is here. We get all the ones that aren't queued for deletion and we queue them for deletion. Something else is going wrong. Animated gold sprite. Yep, yep, yep. Do you have audio, by the way? And you can answer that question, I guess, regardless of if you have audio because of the captions, but curious if you can hear everything. Layovers in my eyes are opportunities to see other countries. If the layover is somewhere you've never been to before. Yeah, I don't know how that works exactly. Let's say you're flying to country A and you have to stop in country B. Can you actually like get out and see that country without a visa? Had to lurk, but I'm still listening in the background. I want to say progress is awesome. Thanks, Spiro. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, this is broken right now. This character isn't even moving, but it is looking a lot better than it used to. What is going on here? You know what would be nice is if you could copy all of this text without it just breaking. Instead, I have to click copy all because if you scroll it out of view, it just ceases to exist or something. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. I never even looked into that. I really should. Okay, so something's going wrong here. Skip tutorial, hire random adventurer, hire adventurer, add adventurer, hired, select character. And then we're not able to get their component. So let's go to character selector. Oh, the airport. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I think from what I've seen, the only real kind of culture you'd see in the airport are from the shops and stalls and stuff. I feel like airports themselves all kind of look the same. Maybe I'm offending people who are really into airports or something. But yeah, I think it's hard to get a taste for the country from just there. For a couple minutes before I head out for the day. Nice. How have you been liking your vacation, Kevin? Hey, Diamond. Let's have like an international zone where everyone's free to be and move, but that's all enclosed inside the airport. Yeah, I obviously don't know what it's like as someone who lives in the US to have not lived in the US and visit the US. You can only definitely have that experience if you, yeah, I guess don't have the papers or something. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Well, one of the things I was asking the other day is, at least in the US and probably elsewhere, they have something called Clear. I'm not even totally sure what this is, probably some biometric system. But while you're in line at the airport, they're like, hey, you can go to this line and you can speed things up. And it's, I don't know, it's a subscription service or something. How is this possible that they don't just like grant this to every citizen by default? I know this is a paid service, but like, what are they doing that the government can't just do and like let us all move through the airport quickly? And sure, maybe it's a background check or something, but why can't you just like go through that process anyway? Again, things I haven't looked up that I probably should at some point. All right, select character. We've taken the adventurer class, and I'm guessing we just don't have a party member for that yet. I don't know how that could be the case though, because hired adventurer is called in the character selector. Hired. Oh, there it is. Add party member. What is going on here? I don't understand it. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here. What is clear? I'm not even totally sure. Let me look this up. I might be saying this wrong. This thing. Secure identity at airports. I didn't know it was at more than airports. Physically and digitally skip long lines. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I don't, get biometric data and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I just still don't get why does that cost money? Airports are kind of interesting because it really depends on how recently they've been updated. I visited airports that basically haven't changed since the 90s. Yeah, someone was talking to me about LaGuardia the other day and how they hate it. I don't know the last time I was there. Began operating in 1939. My goodness. Sounds like it's Face ID for airports. Yeah, I think it pretty much is. Sounds like it's a private business and you want it to be public. I don't know that I want it to be public. I'm just wondering what's stopping that from happening. Like, what if a whole bunch of people subscribe to this service? There must be some trust between the government and this company for them to be letting people onto flights, right? Okay, so this should be the Rogue. There's no easy way to see this though, unless I can get ECS here. Debug print info. Is this just, does this exist? It doesn't exist. Don't like that. All right, well, let's just print out the adventure and maybe we can get some information about it through here. Do we have the name? No, it's just adventure. That's too bad. Well, there should be a components thing in here. Oh, it's going to be really tedious to get. Venture.get children. There are 6. One of them is the one that I want. This one, maybe? 2 were just called node. I think it's the 3rd one. Or I guess that's technically the 4th one. Get children again on that. Count 0. Maybe that one. Oh, cool. I think we're in business. Are you what I think you are? No, this is the state machine. Oh, come on. I'm just trying to figure out what this thing is. Oh, well, whatever. It's the Rogue. We're just going to say it's a Rogue. Now let's move on. We go create party member. We add them. Now we add them into party member container. So now this should contain one thing. Get children. Contains 5 things. Okay, that's fine. That means this wasn't freed. But that's because we queue free them now. But that's exactly the bug we're trying to figure out. Why is that not working? Party member.net. Where's the stack trace for this? Select character. That's what's going to fail. Number of adventurers. Get adventurers.count. Huh. Okay, that's fine. Now what? Aha! This is the problem. Okay. Wow. Wow. This looks innocuous, but now this needs to just be get party members or something like that. Yeah. Wow. All right. Problem solved. We should probably look for that one more time and make sure that I don't have anything else going wrong here. No, I think that should be it. Hey, Jamumu. The official government version, $85 every 5 years. I wonder what Clear does differently then. I guess they just speed up how you verify your identity. Huh. Okay. I guess that makes sense then. I fly back home to Alaska, way smaller than PHX. What's PHX? Is that a Philadelphia airport? Phoenix. That makes much more sense. Massive security, cool laugh and stuff. Yeah, yeah. By the way, what's the population of Alaska? 733K. This is crazy to me. Like, there are some US cities that have more than the population of the entire state, which I guess is probably true of several states. I don't know what the least populated states are, but I imagine they're hovering around like 1 million people. And I bet it's Wisconsin for some reason. All right, let's find out. As long as I'm already on this. How do you sort by population here? No, wait. Oh, I see. It's already sorted. All right, so it's at the bottom. Wyoming. Where's Wisconsin? Oh, Wisconsin's actually number 20. I knew it started with a W. Yeah, wow. Interesting indeed. Yeah, biggest state in size. Yeah. Also, most polar bears. It's so much more convenient than having to carry a passport. You don't have to carry a passport if you do that? Wow. Been to Ireland, roughly 11 US states and Japan. I have actually been to a bunch of different countries. I'm not a traveling person, but my wife is. And my wife really, really wants to travel with me, which makes sense. So I've gone to many places. All right, I think we fixed this now. Let's try it out. Clear just lets you skip the line. Pre-check has other benefits. Not having to take your shoes off. Yeah. Yeah, I ended up getting global entry, which gives you pre-check, and it has been really nice. Actually, so is global entry, although my wife doesn't have that, so I have to wait for her anyway. All right. I think this is looking good now. So we need to end a battle, create instance, and then click this, and then win. Yeah, looks good. All right, we have 3 things left. We're slowly getting there. All right, what's this about? You double free everything that's not already in the scene tree, so we just need to free everything that isn't. Okay, this should be totally fine to call queue free. Then we have this. This might be a little bit tougher. Do we need the item to not exist immediately? Well, it depends on who its parent is. Item set is held. Is the item source? The item source. Huh. What is this? What is this indeed? What sets this? Start holding item. You start holding the item from something that's on the ground or something that's in an item display. So the source is one of those two things. The source doesn't cease to exist. The item ceases to exist. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so then we can queue free this. Whew, we have 2 left. This is the scariest one. Hey, Broken Crown. Name of a single place in Delaware is probably tiny. Oh, man. I used to know all 50 capitals, and then I didn't. Now I probably couldn't even name all 50 states. There's actually a Sporkle quiz on this, for those who haven't seen this. So the way this works, for those who haven't seen Sporkle at all, is you just start typing something. So let's say I start typing Texas. You don't even need to press enter. As long as it matches one of the strings that you have here, it just immediately puts it on the map. So you don't need to identify where it is, and you don't need to identify it in a particular order. So if anyone wants to test their own knowledge, feel free to go to that. But yeah, last time I did this, I think I got to like 45, which is not something I should be sharing publicly. There's always a few that you forget. Hey, Britt. Good morning. Yeah. Need to head out, but yeah, with the Real ID thing, it supposedly gets sped up because of the validity and immigration check. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, cool. Hope you have a good day, Kevin. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for being second. All right, multiple calls of this function will actually remove multiple workers. We could just have this not check for, yeah, this is .toList. We can check for .where W is queued for deletion. Well, that is not queued for deletion. Yeah, I think that'll work. But then anytime we call get entities of type, we can't do this anymore. In fact, I wonder if this should only return ones that aren't queued for deletion. Just right there in the function. Yeah, yeah, let's get rid of it from that side. I think that'll look better. If E is queued for deletion, return false. We could just lump this into here. We're saving a call to this, which really doesn't matter. But I think the more sticky part of this is that if this thing is queued for deletion, this might not exist. Although I don't know why, because no, we already know that it has a component. Yeah, this won't be a problem then. All right, let's do this. So it's not queued for deletion and it's the right type. So then this call can now be a queue free. And there shouldn't be a problem. Ooh, and the last thing we have is this test, which I don't think probably is important. Oh, and then this one too. This should be easy enough to do. Queue free. All right, now what's this say? Battlers that have no chance of ever returning to battle. We track these so that we don't ever call free in the middle of a battle. That's fine. This is just a comment. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Okay. So this just indicates that we should never be using free. As a workaround, use queue free and check is queued for deletion. If ever trying to access something of questionable existence. Yeah, man. Oh, that was my Friday. It was fruitful for at least the Mac build, but it's too bad I couldn't get any insight into the other crashes. We're going to look through this quickly. I think we should be good. I guess we do need to check anywhere else that, no, we don't. Is there anywhere else that we look through any entities that we have? Because, yeah, there could be a place we're iterating over something and we're not checking for deletion. We never delete adventurers or customers. So I don't think there will be a problem there. Yeah, so there's is instance valid in C# as well, but that'll let you know if something's already been disposed. And maybe if it's been queued for deletion. It is queued for deletion. So by the way, in C#, if you do something like node that has been freed dot name, this will throw an exception. And it'll say it's already been disposed. So you need to check is instance valid on it. So this is good, this is bad. Node that has been queued to be freed dot name will not throw an exception. So this is fine. And then you would do this dot is queued for whatever it was, deletion or something. And this will return true. So yeah, I don't know what happens in the GD script side of things if you try doing this. It probably maybe also throws an error because Godot wouldn't have any reference to it anymore. Yeah. All right, so this looks good. What is our comment for this? Stop calling free. And then where's the issue? Here. I spent a lot of time investigating this issue. Turns out we just shouldn't be using free at all. I also updated my notes about this. Yeah. Oh, it crashes. Okay, because I was going to say, on the C# side of things, it just throws an exception. And actually, that exception is something I have right here. System object disposed exception. Cannot access a disposed object. Started reorganizing my game design document. It's been very helpful. Awesome. Yeah. I'm glad. Look, that's why I share those notes. Oh, nice, Cube Miser. You're better than I am. About 10% better than I am. Oh, by crashes, I mean it throws an exception. Yeah. Because I was going to say, the thing we were investigating on Friday was, it was just crashing. And man, that was frustrating. By the way, did you see any of that magnetic bind? I don't think you were here on Friday. But this issue was nuts. I found the last one took you 30 seconds. Yeah. That's still not too bad, considering it only took you 4.5 minutes. I found an issue that it was just so specific, and it only happens on Mac, and it only happens in C#. And it caused a crash, and they said just don't use free. But anyway, that's the overview of it. Sound of typing? It sucked. Yeah, that's the only problem with those Sporkle quizzes. Although some of them do account for typos or alternate spellings. But I think the site is pretty cool, and there are a lot of quizzes on there. All right, so we're done with all this. We're done with this too. You can remove a whole bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, I never tried out reparent. I don't really think I care. Yeah, I don't think I care. Prep for UX session. Okay, so now we're back on track. We're on new stuff. I want to launch, let's do this thing first. I want to launch Checkpoint 5 on January 17th. So where's that document? The Skell document. Here it is. Okay, I don't recommend playing this build, the V0.5. Is that what I'm calling this? No. Checkpoint number 5 should be out on Friday, January 17th. If you can wait until then, please do. All right, Potro, welcome back. Happy 9 months. Thank you for the resub. Hope you are doing well. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. January 17th, Checkpoint 5. January 11th, I guess. I'm hoping to do UX session number 2. And January 7th should be UX session number 1. The way I conduct these is I ask a real life friend, usually remotely, to play the game and share their screen. And then I take a bunch of notes on what they're doing and what they're struggling with. And then the next week, I prioritize what I think is their most important feedback. And maybe they didn't explicitly say this feedback, but I saw them struggling with something and I wanted to prioritize it anyway. What that means is that we have to do the most important stuff for checkpoint 5. Where is it? Yeah, so here are, what, 23 issues? I think 2 of these are very important. Yeah, and we'll be able to do more than 2 of them, I hope. But yeah, we should probably focus on those 2. All right, next checkpoint should be on January 17th. Oh, and we can even set that as the deadline here, can't we? Oh, I already did. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so issues, crashes. Hey, Smoo. Mr. 4242. So the most important thing I had here was consolidate all the actionable things in the game. I have been not wanting to do this. Where even is it? Here it is. Consolidate all upgrades into one location. All right. Well, let's see. This was for upgrades. I think we also maybe combine this with 479. Is this in checkpoint 5? It is. So it's 479 and 484. 479 and 484. I guess let's get links to these things. What do I have on my clipboard? 479. Okay, so that one goes there. And 484 goes there. And then we just remove this link. Wait, what? You can't remove a link through that menu? You can only copy and add one? Got all 50 and 226? All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I tried the countries one. I am very bad at that. Also, a lot of times, unless you're staying up to date, a lot of countries have changed names or have split into 2 countries. Okay, like I said, I think these 2 things are the most important. It's just they're also a little bit tough to do. And not even because the underlying code is difficult. I think it's because the UI is going to be difficult. I think I need to plan this a bit. So purchasable things in one spot. Buildable things. Buttons to center on. What is this? Multiple things that can be built. It opens a small UI panel with buttons to center on each individual thing. Oh, multiple different buildings. Yeah. I finally got Unity set up and loaded in my repo. Need to grind out making assets this week. Yeah. I like getting right into development. I think there are 2 general kind of categories of game devs. People who are fine with developer assets and people who try to get things looking a little bit polished from the get-go. I am the fine with developer assets category. Do all my own art and music. Yeah, and that's great. I think that lets you get a feel for a game ahead of time. I think there is, when you're making a new game, there's a certain amount of not going too deep into anything before you know you're going to like the game. So for example, I wouldn't be like, okay, I made the game design document, now I'm going to go compose an hour of music. I think that would be a mistake. But I think making something that fits for the gameplay there is, maybe 1 track, I think is a good idea. This all falls in the MVP philosophy, I think. Okay, so 2 things. We have buildings you can build and upgrades you can apply. So this is just conditions are a sign exists for something. And that's kind of it. And maybe you have enough money. I'm not even sure if that's important. maybe this could be an indicator. I don't know. Whatever. Let's just get something working. And then the upgrades you can apply. So conditions, I think this one would require that you have enough money. This is a question mark. I don't know about this. But this one, yes, you definitely need it to be there. So what could this look like at its most basic? We could have something like buildings and upgrades. And buildings could say something like town hall. And then there could be an eyeball button here. Or a camera. Picturing something like this. And maybe we say the enchanter. I'm not sure. Hey, James Warner. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing? How is the stream? I am trying to figure out how we're going to do something. I want to make this new UI today if possible. I don't need it to be great. I need it to be functional. But even getting it to be functional might be a little bit challenging. So I'll briefly intro what I'm talking about here. So in Skeleseller, you're running a town, and there are various signs that can show up. Like here, it says build town hall. The only way you'd know this exists right now is by finding it. So if you're not looking over there and you're instead looking over here, you'd never even know that you could build a town hall. And that's the problem. So we have signs for a lot of different things. One is up here, the Explorer's Hut. Some are right there in your view. Like you definitely see these. But then, yeah, some are slightly out of view down here. So I want to consolidate all of them into a button or something in the UI, like buildings available, and it shows the tavern and the town hall, and you can click it and it'll center the camera there. And then once you've unlocked that building, I want you to know that you have upgrades you can get. So here it says town perks. All of these are things you could buy, and only one of them you don't have enough money for right now. So yeah, something needs to tell you about this, I guess. Yeah. My line of work, you have to just only get something working. You shouldn't spend a lot of time polishing it, or you go over time. Yeah, I wonder how many people go sort of against the grain of what they do for work. Because for work, you can only do the bare minimum. And then for personal projects, you like perfecting it. I wonder if you had to perfect things for work, if you'd be like, I just want to move fast for personal projects. Ideally, I want to divide my time equally between the things that need to get done. Yeah, yeah. I think it's all working towards something that's playable and you can get feedback on. Hey, Sarah. The Skeleseller selling. Yeah. James, how's your site going? So upgrades, what do you even show for this? Did I have an idea for this even? It's not even upgrades. They're purchases. Okay, so maybe we frame it as like maybe we just call it the purchases button. It's more like available purchases. And then underneath it, we could say adventurers, like you can hire your next adventurer. Upgrades. Key to doing efficient indie dev is working indie dev professionally. It's doing poor indie dev professionally. Sniffed around it so far, because otherwise been scared of it. I also got 2 different cat trees. One was from Costco and one was from somewhere else. And Abby liked the boxes much more than she liked the cat trees. So we just gave up and we returned the one from Costco. And I don't remember what happened to the other one. I think we gave it to somebody else. Set up days live with a few random work examples now. Add a small section called artifacts to show off small UI components. Nice. Nice. Moving right along. How has the job hunt process been going? Starting my CS master's degree in like 8 days. Trying to do PI planning? Is that what that says? Yeah, what is PI planning? Don't think about it too hard. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to do that. It's nice to have things sort of on the rails when other things have picked up in your life. I do think there comes a time though where you're like, oh, I need to do intense work or planning again. And then it's just hard to do. That's when projects tend to fizzle out, I think. Is when your important life stuff is too important. Program increment. Oh, I see. Private investigator. Yeah, that's what it is. Hunt down this code. A very specific set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for lines of code like you. So I like this idea. There just being an available purchases button. I'm not sure we even need there to be town perks here anymore. Could it replace this? Maybe. It's nice that there's one click to get here. What I'm thinking of with the, oh, thanks, Ifrit, for the bits. Start a couple interviews that I decided weren't a great fit for what I'm looking for. Not too many opportunities to explore, which is a bit miserable. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I only hear about how the job market is now through other people. I don't look into it myself, but I've heard that things aren't great. I do think these things are cyclical. Not that that's any solace right now, but I think probably in a few years people will be hiring like crazy. Although who knows, maybe that won't be the case. I do wish you luck. So my general questions here. Should we replace the town perks button? If we do, will it be multiple clicks to get to the same UI? Should this be a pop-up menu or its own UI entirely? How many things can even show in here? For buildings, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not all 9 could show at the same time. And we'll probably add a couple more. So maybe we end up with like 13. There may be a total of maybe like 10 buildings at most that would show in this UI. We could even soft limit it. Then upgrades, what would that even, I guess we want to show you your quest as well. Yeah, we should be able to show any actionable thing in here. Buying hints. All right, well, what are our upgrades? Town perks. Maybe the enchanter crystals or spell books or something. Mark has to be the worst I've seen. Heard people are spamming recruiters with AI cover letters and resumes automatically, which makes it even harder to get in the door without a reference. Oh, man. Yeah. AI is really just a tool, and every tool I think has good and bad uses. And I'm mostly thinking about what the good uses are, but yeah, the bad uses are this sort of thing. Spamming people. I guess the AI cover letter part is probably good. Like, how many people felt like they were held back because they couldn't write a good cover letter, didn't learn how, or I don't know, their English wasn't great. AI probably smooths all that out. And now I'm guessing it's easier to make it sound like an actual person. Listings are getting 10,000 applicants day one. Wow, imagine if this is just how it always worked. Imagine if as soon as a job is posted, there was some system that just said, hey, here are the candidates who could apply to your job. And maybe there was some filtering done so that the 10,000 people weren't like, I don't know, you're not getting like an English teacher for a computer science job or something like that. But still that you got whatever, 4,000 people want this job. I wonder how you would deal with that as a hiring manager. Because you can't talk to 3,000 people for one job. The AI is talking to the AI the recruiters are using. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to give everybody an honest shot, you'd have to look through them all, or you need to do some kind of filtering. And there was always filtering, I think. It just wasn't like AI understanding your resume. It was AI scanning for keywords or something. That's how I got my current job. Find a job with a resume. Yeah, but now imagine the recruiters are getting spammed with like 5,000 emails as soon as a job posting is listed. That'd be pretty crazy. Work in modern recruiting tech. Okay. Yeah. Well, crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, so any available thing for purchase. What else do we have? I wanna list quests here. I guess it's sort of just actions. Quest is available. Do I want to have hints that show up in here? Maybe it is. Maybe it is purchases, like actions, purchases, buildings, town hall, enchanter, these sorts of things. And then town perks, enchanter crystals, or spell books. Adventurers, hire, quest, start new, or see progress. Hints, I guess. Hints. What else can you do? Build a shop, build more storage. This isn't really the same thing, is it? I don't know. I guess we can figure out what category it's going to go into. What else is there? Vault, storage, weapon shop, town hall, tavern, and the garbage slime. Draggable scroll area. Where's that? Neat. Look, you can even see the hand grabbing. Cursor changing properly. Yeah, nice. Claps. Have funny report system idea from a couple of years ago when you reported someone, it would tell you who reported you and why they reported you. I think something like that would be kind of interesting for a forum where everybody knows that that's the case. Although I think anywhere that you have moderation, which is pretty much anywhere you have user content, I think it would potentially cause harm. I can't share this idea because I might actually do this, but I have an idea. Yeah, I can't even tell you what it's about. Never mind. Sorry, forget I said anything. Jeff Alton, thanks for the resub. Thanks for always having such enjoyable streams. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for sharing your own positivity. All around win-win-win. Put out a job posting for an artist for our game. We got 700 plus applicants in a week. Whoa, what site did you post through or sites? No, really. So, James, a lot of these ideas that I have, I end up doing for April Fools sometimes. And this is one of the ones. And I can't share even the premise or else it'll kind of ruin things. The thing I'm thinking of is Chat Royale. Oh, this is a video. Do I have a picture or something here? Yeah, not really. Anyway, for one April Fools, I had an idea for a battle royale game that was just done over chat. And I forgot what the questions even were. They should be in here somewhere. Prompts. Yeah. All right. What was it? Sequence of numbers. This one was really stupid. But it says type the next number in the sequence. First person to send a message and start typing with, and then there was a number. So chat had to type like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you didn't type the next one or you hadn't typed anything by the end or something like that, then you were out. Anyway, if I'd shared this idea ahead of time, I think it would have ruined it. So that idea that I almost talked about, I will probably still do at some point. Work with indies and hit marker. Okay, I haven't heard of either one, but yeah, getting 700 applicants, it's pretty crazy. Are you happy with your artist, by the way? I think you're forced to say yes. Probably surfaces if you lost a battle. That way it's apparent that a hint might help. Combine this with this. Single thing that can be built depends the camera there. If there are multiple things, opens a small UI panel. Yeah, yeah. So I want this to exist, and I'm still not sure how this should look. No, I think it's pretty much it. That's the wrong thing to get banned. Yeah, that's hardcore battle royale. Never come to the stream again. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. We can dynamically populate this. It can't take up. It can't take up every. It can't take up the whole space over here. That's gonna be too much information. So you have to click a button. There had to be like an actions button, and it'd have to be. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, would you want it to tell you about skill points too? Maybe this is silly. Skill points. Can you describe your planning process? Me? Do you mean planning in terms of like work planning, tasks? Or do you mean planning in terms of what I'm doing right now, like UI? Because for UI, it's basically just wander around. Feature planning. Yeah, sure. So for one, I have a bunch of unfiled tasks at the bottom of this list here. It's like 35 pages of tasks. These should be in GitHub, and they're just not. If I go to GitHub, that's where we see the issues that were filed. And then from these, we figure out a priority and when it should happen by. It's hard because I'm trying to sum up many different parts of this process. So that's, I'd say, like the general planning is list tasks, prioritize, and then tackle some of them. But then you get to a release. And for the release, it's gather feedback, process it, and then prioritize that through the planning system. So basically turn the feedback into tasks and then prioritize them and then tackle some of them and then release again. The way to even figure out what's worth tackling, I think, should be based on a combination of what you think needs to be done. So, like, what does the final game or product look like? And then what do players give you feedback on? So, for example, your game might never crash for you, but you give feedback that there are crashes. That's probably pretty important. That's probably not something you had on your radar before, but maybe you should be working on that. So, yeah, those sorts of things. I don't know if this is too high level to be valuable, but I'm happy to answer more. I just probably need some steering. Majority of the applicants didn't have any characters. Very happy with our artist. Oh, wow. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So, yeah, what should this look like? We could pop something up that has everything there. I kind of like the idea of each one of these things being its own section, but then how would you know which section contains what? I don't want that to be confusing. So town perks just pops up a UI, but buildings might pop up. Oh, that's not good. Character got stuck there. Oh, that's really bad. Is it because I built the warehouse on top of them? Probably is. If I save and load, what happens? It fixes it. That's not good. I should have taken a screenshot of that. Yeah, the worker had to be right there, I think, and then I had to build this. I don't even know how we'd get that to repro. We'd have to like speed this up and then hope that, I guess we'd just add in like a million workers. I probably shouldn't have to click this button a million times. All right, we need so many of them that they're bound to go over to the left side. And then we need the sign to exist. And we need to build this as soon as there's someone who's like roughly like there. Yeah, they do get stuck. Wait, something's just wrong with this. Yeah, something's just wrong with this. Like the new ones are getting stuck too. That was never the case before. All right, well, let's take a screenshot for now. These are all stuck. Oh. Building the very base of my core mechanics. Spent like 3 hours yesterday figuring out how to organize my project files in Unity. I'd be careful about this stuff. Like organizing files in a project, I think is something that you can just sort of shortcut at first and trust that later on down the line, if you have a problem, you can fix it then. Because generally, reorganizing files, it's not a fun task to do, but it's also not like it's super complicated or anything. You have to update some paths, you have to maybe change some namespaces, and then any references between those files that you might have. But other than that, it's just like drag a file to a different folder. And that way you're focusing on the important stuff. I think my perspective is based on having launched games before and realizing what was important after the fact. And a lot of this stuff you look back on and you're like, oh man, I spent 3 hours reorganizing my project or figuring out how to do this. And it just never mattered in the end because I never made the game. Something like that. Um, yeah, I think honestly, putting them all in the root of a repository is fine for a week or a month or something. And then once there's more clarity, it's like, oh, hey, look, we've got 3 files for this and 10 files for that. It's like now your folders might be more obvious. All right, so workers can get stuck when building the warehouse. The repro is just to create like 1,000 workers and then build the warehouse. The ones that are under the item displays will be stuck, but then new workers will get stuck just trying to wander around, which is concerning. Yeah, this is bad. Do we have some like navigation or pathfinding? No, we just have town. Yeah, this is really bad. I don't know what even introduced this. I wonder if I just did this. But I don't want to focus on that for right now. If I save and load and then speed this up, they don't get stuck. Yeah, they're all pathing just great. So what this, oh, interesting. Actually saves it there with that many workers. What this makes me think is that something is broken with the navigation mesh. Maybe that is the case. No, I don't want to investigate this right now though. Note that saving and loading fixes this, so it probably indicates a problem with rebaking the navigation mesh. It's actually a good way to kind of plan and prioritize. I know I need certain things like player mechanics and boss mechanics and UI and inventory. Yeah, yeah. I look, if a process works, I don't want to say that it shouldn't have worked. I do think it would have been obvious as you got to work on the game that, oh, we need UI now. And you would eventually have realized that whether or not you had a folder for it. But it's yeah, the only thing that spooks me, and as I mentioned, when I had not launched any games, when I hadn't worked on a lot of games, I was mostly just pursuing what was fun. And then I would make the game and it would either do well or wouldn't do well. And then I realized all the stuff that I worked on, if the game didn't do well, none of it mattered anyway. Or I would never finish the game. And then even the stuff I was happy with or that was a good process didn't really matter. And that started steering everything I'm doing now toward I'm pursuing what's fun or what works. Sorry, what's fun for the player. I should clarify what was fun to develop is what I was talking about earlier. Yeah. So this is what's meaningful. Like what's going to move the game forward. And also, how do you know when to stop working on a game? Like some game ideas just I'm not saying they can't be fun, but maybe they won't be very popular or successful. So it's like, maybe you've explored what's fun and now it's time to wrap up and polish and produce it, or maybe it's time to stop. Do the workers get stuck on each other? No, they don't have collision with each other. Also, hey, I'll count that. What's the hat? This is the last worker. It's another like almost Pythonic thing, except for it's not a -1. It's saying to only find workers with hats on them. One hat. Yeah, so going back to this, I'm still not sure what this UI should look like. Should we just have a building section of things you can build and it only appears when you have something you can build? I don't like that idea. Don't like the idea of having a buildings button even when there's nothing you can build. Lots of time, yeah. That's what makes me think this should be in another UI or another UI. What if it popped up another panel though? I just don't know if it needs to be. I'm thinking like, imagine going on Amazon.com and I think there's some like drop downs, and just imagine something like, I don't know, a home and decor drop down, and then like a kitchen drop down, and then whatever, tiles or something like that. So you hover over this and it shows you another set of menus, and you hover over this and it shows you another set of menus, and then you click the item that you want. I don't know if that would work here for this. I think it would on desktop. I think we have to reimagine everything for mobile anyway if we eventually do a mobile version, so we shouldn't worry about that yet. But another way of doing this is just having an actions and saying like, hey, something's available, and you click it. But then you're probably always going to want that open. So it'd be nice to just hover over this. Yeah. Hover over actions to see which ones are available. Since you're probably almost always curious. However, there would only be a few sections to break out anyway. Buildings, upgrades, quests, something like that. It's not a bitwise operation in this case. I don't remember all the bitwise operation. I think it's these. There would be all the bitwise operation symbols, but I haven't done this in C#, or at least not in a while. This is what they usually are in other languages: bitwise, or, and not. There's usually, or not XOR. I don't know. Got all my family members playing now. My favorite Sporkle quiz is the original 150 Pokemon. This one. And 15 minutes isn't a super long time for it. I'll link this in if anyone wants to try that one out. Ridiculous. So buildings, town perks, enchanter crystals, explorer hints. I guess building the buildings, then something you can interact with in the buildings. I don't know. Half the states for Ohio. Stopped clock is right twice a day. God, I should just test some things out with this. Yeah, we probably need to make something and then test this out. Maybe just fill it in with dummy data. Yeah. Hey, what did you say to me? Welcome back. Happy 14. Nice to see people still subscribing, supporting the stream. Can't believe it's almost 2025. Yeah, I think this is the big conclusion. We need to just try something out. I should iterate on this or mock it up or something and analyze the pros and cons. We just mock this up in a drawing program and analyze pros and cons. This is a sign I need to clean my keyboard if it's double and triple typing stuff. Now I'm going to take a break somewhat soon. I just want to think about this a little bit longer. What if we add some other category of thing here? Should things dynamically pop up? Should sections dynamically pop up as needed? E.g. buildings disappears if you've built everything? Or just be disabled? I wonder, I don't have a real game state right now, but I wonder what this would look like if I did have a real game state. Huh. I can't tell if the frame rate is struggling here. Or if it's just the zoom level that makes it look like that. Toggle that shows and hides available upgrades or buildings. Well, what I'm thinking is we need to collect them all up here. Like when you build the town hall, take a look at the upper left. It just says adventurers right now. As soon as I click build, we now see town perks. And this never changes colors or anything. It doesn't let you know that you have enough money. But that's a nice way of being like, oh, hey, I can access these upgrades without having to go find the town hall and click the board over here. And I like having the in-world way of doing this, but not everyone's going to find that or enjoy that. So collecting it up over here, I think is good. Having a toggle for that, I think we should just design something in a way that it can always show. So I think what we need to do is replace... Let me think about this. Yeah, so at a high level, it's either show a button for each category of thing or show one new Uber category for everything. Yeah, so we have adventurers, town perks. We could have quests. We could have spells, buildings, and upgrades. That'd be what, 6 things? I think that'd be a lot to have up there, but maybe not. Take care, Everett, and good luck with the tutorials. You'll be making your game in no time. Also, good luck on the master's program. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. And yeah, let's keep working on this when we get back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Yeah, no. All right, be back in a few minutes. Feel free to type join in chat, no exclamation mark, and you can jump around. See ya. everybody. All right, close the game. Interesting. Even if I were to show a button for all these things, I need to have something off the side of here for when there are multiple different things you can do. That's a lot of Skelesellers. Yeah, I was testing something out. Also, does this work? It looks like it does. Yeah, it's working just fine. It just doesn't work when you build the building originally. I don't know why that is. Huh. All right, well, let's close this. Also, let's take just a quick look. Create warehouse. Warehouse init. Something here. Something. On upgrade, it says rebake navigation mesh. But we call upgrade before that. Oh, that's the problem then. We just fix it that way, right? Okay, so this should be very obvious. Yeah, I might as well fix this. What's unique about season 2? Just that I deleted the save file from season 1. Now always impressed by the progress. Yeah, yeah. It's nice to see this stuff playing out. That's for sure. Oh, that's why I never noticed a bug. I always click that button, which then upgrades like 14 times. If I don't click that and instead just build with the sign, then this is going to be broken. And we should be able to see it very easily by just doing this. And eventually everyone's going to get stuck right there. Yeah. I can't believe I never saw this. Look, they're all just sitting at the table. So we just put this down to the bottom and I think that'll fix it. This is not the problem we were trying to solve originally, but it is a checkpoint 5 task, and I think it's done now. All right, so show all signs, unlock all adventurers, click this button, increase the game speed, and now no one should get stuck there. So far, so good. Yeah, so far, so good. Wow, that's all it took. Door stuck. Love that video. All right, let's check that in. This fixes 552. Fix. Oh, wait, we might have this problem even with. Oh, no, we don't. This says storeroom. Fix issue with navigation mesh. Storerooms. The warehouse is the only storeroom where this mattered, but we were only updating the mesh on upgrades, not on the initial build. I wonder how that happened in the past. So workers could get stuck. Fixes number 552. Push. And watch this turn purple. Nice. Easy. Easy. All right, so back to this. What I concluded was we should just make something and test it out. Maybe let's do one of those UI mockup things. What do people use for that? UI mockup tool online. I guess probably just Figma at this point. Because I've used a bunch of different things in the past. And oh, AI mockup tool. AI mockup. Pricing. Free. 2 editable boards, limited elements per board, 100 AI credits. I'm not going to do this. But this does sound pretty interesting. I wonder if I just gave it something, what it would do. And actually, this is one of those cases where AI is probably great for this. Like a lot of times you're worried about hallucinations and what if it's wrong about something or it does something totally wild. But for ideation, I think that stuff is all fine. it's just helping you generate ideas, and maybe it comes up with something wacky that actually helps you ideate. Okay, well, I think I have a Figma account. Log in. Hold on a second. What is in here? Whoa. Okay, so here's all I have in here. And I have this Adam Learns Colors edited 7 years ago. Untitled. Can I delete these things in here? Move to trash. I don't care about this. Move to trash. All right, I am very bad at Figma, but we're going to try to use this. And step one is, how do you even make a new... Here we go. All right. Now let's struggle around and try to figure out what we're doing here. So Skeleseller available actions UI. This will be fun. Hey, Funky Monkey. Please stop watching Funky Monkey. There should be somewhere that you... Oh, wait, this is different from what I thought it was. I thought there was like a UI widgets thing you could get. But what I see instead are pens and rectangles and stuff. Maybe this is not what I thought it was. I think, what am I thinking of? Like Excalidraw or something like that? Hey, neat. I have a this is the test thing there. But even this isn't what I was thinking of. It was more like, does this site still exist? This site does still exist. And I apparently have an account. Hang on one sec. I'm doing this off screen intentionally, trying to get logged in here. Holy cow, there's like 40 different things you got to go through just to get to this. New project. Need more team projects. All right, well, anyway, Ninja Mock is something I used to use a long time ago. I don't know what this stuff is, so just delete everything. Move to trash. Can I even make a new project? Platform list. Oh my God, I don't care. I'll just pick website. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just need something that lets me throw some tools in here. Hey, Tobias. Oh, this looks glitchy. Oh my goodness, I do not remember all of this stuff last time I used this site. But yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted. So we could just drag buttons on here now. How do you zoom in? How do you pan? Shouldn't there be an easy way to pan this? Huh. I guess you have to just switch to the pan tool. All right. So one way we could do this is we could have buttons with all these things. And I don't know, this is adventurers and this is buildings. And we have another one for quests. So something like this, and it's all inside of, they have containers or something here. So I don't need to align these things myself. I guess aligning them isn't that hard. And then maybe expand them a bit. So this is one thing, and then hovering over them could maybe get you to other sections, because with adventurers you could either hire a new one or you could look at their skills. higher in skills. And I don't think I'd want that. Like you hover over this to see higher in skills and you click one of these. I guess we could make it so that you just click the main thing and it does the main action anyway. So actually skills would probably be on top here. I think we'd introduce a usability concern by doing this. Anyway, this is like method number 1, have a button for each high level. Oh, apparently that is not a text area. let's make that. Each high level action, and hovering over it would show sub actions. And is there an arrow we can draw somewhere? Probably shouldn't have this site be in dark mode. I think it's messing everything up. What's the shortcut for pan? H. And then what's the shortcut for this? V. Zoom in is Z, and zoom out is Alt Z. That's not all that usable in my opinion. That's okay. All right, so this, and then we draw an arrow somewhere. This is a line tool, but how do you make it an arrow? I don't know. I mean, we could just draw an arrow. Arrow. Hey, shapes. Cool. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, and I'll add some other little notes here. Clicking adventurers can do the more common action of opening the skill pane. Recommend going to community tab and looking for wireframe UI kits if you're just going for basic prototypes. In Figma, would it be a drastically different process from this? I recognize that Figma is more often used, but given that I would probably be opening this program like once every 3 months, because I don't really mind which program I use. But yeah, I can switch back to that. All right, so we go back to this. Assets, wireframe UI. Do I have to click this? UI kits. How do you find more of these? It says add more, but then can't actually add more. Is it this one? Oh yeah. This seems good. What am I doing? How do you do this? It's already added? Where do I find those things then? I don't know. Yeah, maybe I should just stick with this for now. Because either way, I don't know what I'm doing. And I know less what I'm doing in Figma. Anyway, this was the method 1 thing that I had here. I guess method 2 was going to be kind of similar. So method number 2 would be have an Uber button that serves as the base of the drop-down menu. So it'd be something like this. And I don't think I like this idea even as I say this, but it'd be actions, and then we have a little arrow here. Woo. And then we see something like adventures, building quests. Yeah, like I said, pretty sure I don't like this idea. Let's see. Oh, for your buildings button, zoom the camera out so that all buildings were in view. Some sort of highlight to show built or not yet built buildings. The issue is, for one, that would only solve it for buildings. Two is that the map is so large that being able to see everything would be a little bit of a hassle. Like we have a sign up here, and then we have a sign down here. And I think I could probably show them both barely on my monitor, but maybe your monitor is not as big, or you have this taking up half the screen. Yeah. Anyway, what I was thinking, Raz, is that when you do see a building thing here, like let's say it says buildings and let's say it says armor shop, it would pan the camera automatically to where you could build it. So it's not actually going to let you build it through here. It's going to be like, oh, here's the shop, and now you click build. And that way, this is really just here's how you do the stuff that you need to do in the game. Method number 3 that I was thinking of is pop up a new panel with all of the actions available there. There probably won't be that many actions, so this could work. There could be some quick stuff on this menu, actions, and then this goes to a new panel entirely. And on that panel, we have all the buttons that we have. I guess this is hover over an Uber button. Yeah. So now this is where we would have these other things. Man, there's a lot of usability issues with software designed to make usable software. This is similar. It's not on hover, I guess. And this would also be built out a little bit. So I guess adventurers would show as not a button, and then there'd be a hire and a skills button. Something like that. And then same thing with buildings. And this might be something like enchanter and tavern. And town hall. And then, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff in here. A define evil. How goes it? So even just kind of looking at this, I don't think I like this style for sure. Can I use emoji in here? Yeah. I don't like this because it's like a less usable version of method 1. Join the holiday break. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so for buildings, we would show like 10 different things. I don't know if it's worth mocking this up. Also, this wouldn't look like a drop-down menu. Maybe we put in like a little carrot thing here. I think that would look even weirder. Yeah. Yeah, you're reading G-Docs for what? Skeleseller? We need to expand this out too, I guess. I am so surprised they didn't add like a middle click to drag. It just seems so weird. Keep switching tools just to do this. Did that paste over there? Oh my God, what a stupid program. On the FAQ. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, let me know if you have any other questions, and thanks for looking at that. You ever tried draw.io? Yeah, I have. That was the site I was looking for, but I typed draw.com and it said that wasn't available. Yeah, I think this would probably be a lot better. Just have like sane zooming and how do you zoom on this? Alt mouse wheel, yeah, that's fine. And then you can pan properly too. Yeah, this seems like it's a lot better. And I have used this before, like I said, but thank you, something half decent. Yeah, I think I probably want to use this. Okay, well, anyway, of these things, let's finish. I want to see if there was some hidden shortcut for that. So since I don't like method 2, we can bring methods 1 and 3 over there. And then maybe, is there some other thing that I haven't thought of? Here, Mirror, lucid chart is nice. I think as long as I have something that lets me just put some components here, I think it's probably good enough. Oh, this is an AI based thing. How much do they let you use for free? Huh, interesting. I kind of want to try this just to see what AI would do with this. Yeah, let's build that charting tool. Yeah, I do kind of want to try something that's AI driven just to see what it would come up with. I'll at least write this as a note to try out some other time on something. I think for now I want to explore the issue on my own because I also need to get better at UI stuff. Look into this. Because regardless of what we do here, we still need the underlying, like, give me what building actions exist, and coding that shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I want to switch into using draw.io for this. Let's convert this stuff over here. Here we go. All right, so method number 1, show some high level buttons, show some high level categories that you can hover over to show individual actions. Inspiration and research, finding for different examples of menus and design patterns around options. Yeah, I think it's a good suggestion. Are they paid? Usually they're paid. I'm not sure. It didn't say that it was, but you could only have 100 objects. So maybe they're just like, well, once you've used those 100 objects, you're limited by the canvas and not by the AI calls that they have. What is going on? What did I even just... Oh, man, I don't think this copied. I was like, why isn't it pasting? All right, before we do that, I want to just quickly familiarize myself with this enough to get to what we had before, but then I want to go research what we can do. So are there buttons here? They could just be these, a rectangle. Yeah, and then presumably you can double click. Yeah. All right, so what did we have? Adventurers building quests. Adventurers. Buildings. Quests. And then this would go to here. So we'd have something like skills and hire. And this one would be something like tavern and town hall. There's a search shapes. Yeah, but is button a thing that they have? It is. Thing is, I'm not sure if this should even be a button. All right, so what have we got? What's another game that does something like this? Shows you your available actions at any given time. I'm trying to think about this. I guess it'd have to be like a simulation style game. Maybe an idle game. I'm running through some ideas in my head and I just having a hard time with this. Because I think of The Sims and I think there was no real in-game UI for quick menu actions, right? It was just managing your Sims. I don't even know where. I guess they had some notification system somehow. They had this stuff. Okay, that's kind of similar, I guess. It popped up a panel. It's important here. I expect people to click their adventurous skills pretty often. I think it'll be the same thing with quests and town perks. Everything else, you should just know that it's available. Probably won't be something you click all that often. Man, we only have what, two things right now? What do we have? Skill tree, town perks, hire worker. What is that? This has never been used. I'm gonna delete that. Actionable items in the game. Delete that hire worker button. Yeah, so we only have two buttons there. That's it. And the other button only shows once you get the town hall. So we build that and you have two buttons. And these are the ones I expect you to use most commonly, which is why there are buttons there. But then the other things that you don't know is when can you build other buildings? When do you have a quest available? Well, you always have a quest available. But when are you on the quest? Did that just fail? Oh, yeah, yeah. This is only possible in developer built. Yeah. Where your information architecture and decisions around prioritization come in handy. Yeah, I should probably pull up that session I did with you. Do I have? Oh, I do have that here. Ooh. I never went through these and filed everything. Okay, let me see this. Combine things into a wireframe. Think about positioning, sizing, color. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, let's start with this. I mean, this is a decent start, the information architecture. Let me see what else we have written here though. Okay. Prioritize what you want the user to focus on. Yeah. Hey, bums. Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is sort of like what we had over here. These were the actions that we had. And I don't know exactly how we want to do this. We could simplify what we have here too to just be like show the next building that you could build, or like I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll have to think about that still. So this is something I expect you to use often, and this is something I expect you to use often. Used often. But then there are not often used, but important when they're available, which I guess would be hiring an adventurer and building stuff. But maybe you want to see how much mana you have too for the enchanter thing. I don't have money for that. Man. Other games did. So I guess if we want those things to be at the forefront, we have buttons for them right now, and they work just fine. The thing is, town perks is something that you can spend money in, and I want these other things to be any available actions you might have. Are you quests in current progress are also important to be able to see at a glance? The thing is, the quest system in this game is infinite, so you always have a quest you could be doing. If I build this and then I need to have seen a few items, so I get around the developer limitation, we do that and that. Okay, so yeah, so I can accept a quest. The progress is actually, I mean, I guess it's only visible from, what is going on right now? Did we make this so you can't drag from here? Oh, man, that's so bad. Make it so that the quest progress isn't absorbing mouse clicks. Well, the thing that gives a quest is always this, and it's, like I said, it's just an infinite number of quests. I do think showing the progress in the UI could be helpful, though. Yeah. Maybe we need to show quest progress at a glance. I just don't know how we're going to roll all this stuff up. So I guess collapsing all of this underneath buildings would be good. Enchanter crystals or spell books. Yeah, you'd probably want to see your mana somewhere. Make a special separate UI for this. Could be a mana bar and icons for which spells are active. Okay, so here's something I'm thinking about at least. At its most basic, we could have buttons for adventurer skills, town perks, quests. Would just center the camera on the tavern. Yeah. Then we wouldn't have an easy way of doing the rest of the actions. And I don't even know if a set of buttons is what's best here. But I think having some buttons is good. Like I think this works. This is totally fine in the game right now. And I think this would also be fine here. You have the town perks button. So I do like those. I like that it's one click away, and these are very often accessed pieces of information. I think something like the quest and showing the progress. See, there are lots of different ways of doing this stuff. One is as you get an item, we could pop up something saying like you're at 2 out of 10 potions now. Another is to just always have it on screen somewhere. Maybe right beneath money, your quest progress shows up and we just inline these 3 things. And another is having, yeah, like a quest button that just centers the camera over here. So you were looking over here and instead it goes like this. And now you're looking at your progress that you have. Does clicking this do anything? Yeah. Quests. All right, I'm gonna make a document that'll at least put all this stuff in one spot. Hey, Darkstorm. Let me do this. Give me a sec here. Okay. Why is this white? Oh, I turned off Dark Reader. I thought I just turned it off at that site. I clicked the wrong button. So Skeleseller UI design. Well, this isn't even UI design. It's for actionable items. Available actions UI design. Yeah. We need a way of showing which actions a user can perform in the game without the user having to look all over the town map. Okay, those actions are generally these. The actions are purchases, buildings, tavern, town hall, etc. Upgrades for buildings. Well, buildings, I guess new, and then upgrades. Warehouse, storage, vault storage, and maybe enchanter crystals. All right, next up is adventurers, hire, add skill points. This is probably above that one. Then quests. Anything else? Explorer hints. Explorer hints. I'm not even sure you'd expect that to be there. Hey, Laka. And yeah, welcome back. It's been 10 months and 7 days. How have you been doing, Laka? All right, so all these things have been lumped up into that. Oh, and hey, Weasley. Soul Sorcerer is written in parentheses. I remember your old name now. Well, I don't know if you want me sharing it, but yeah, I remember what it was. All right. Yeah, so then some general like thoughts on specific sections. Quests. So some ideas here would be one button that would center the camera on the tavern. Another could be we have a special quest UI that shows you your progress at any given time. It could just show beneath your money, e.g. We just need some emoji, some symbols here. But bomb 0/6, potato 2/5, and any other thing, tomato. 1/3. Yeah. I don't mind. Yeah, it's Zilly. It was Zilly Games, I think. Kind of reminds me of the small menu you have in RTS games or buildings, upgrades, units, etc. Can you give me an example of that? Because I do want to research what other games have done here. And then we could have a pop-up / notification that shows whenever you make progress on the current quest. I think this is less helpful. I also forgot that one. Yeah, I think you changed your name a lot. Worldbox has a simple tab menu system. Worldbox. I don't even know what Worldbox is. Huh. Never heard of this game. Oh. They did pretty much exactly what I have. How do we look at just the picture of that though? All these are videos. Or maybe that was the main menu or something? Because I don't see this now in any of the game screenshots. Huh. Also, it's only showing mods. All right, fine. I'll just click this. Oh, simple GUI mod. I see. So this is only part of the mod. I wonder what the GUI was to begin with. Oh, that's funny that there's a mod for that. Yeah, Raz, if you have a screenshot that you've seen of this, of what you're talking about, please feel free to share it. Because all I'm finding when I search for the UI is, I guess, stuff like this, which looks like when you've clicked a particular village, there's a grayish menu you see at the bottom. This one? Oh, okay, I see now. Where'd that screenshot go? Here. So they have tabs at the bottom for this stuff. All right, well, let's start pasting some of this stuff into the document. Other games. Worldbox has tabs at the bottom with a bunch of different actions. StarCraft 2. Oh my God. See, the only thing I can picture for StarCraft 2 is that UI at the bottom right, where any unit you had selected, it would have a contextual menu down there. I can't think of what Dark is talking about. Oh, you are talking about that. Um, hmm. Is the idea to just have icons for those things, I guess? I still need to figure out. Well, anyway, if we are gonna have icons or not, I guess isn't super important. Could have icons instead of text for the main categories. Hey, Jack. All right, so this was for quests. I guess it's the same thing for the enchanter. Could have a special spell casting UI, a mana bar, icons for the active spells. Maybe show remaining times underneath them. And we don't need to do all this stuff to begin with. I still haven't really figured out. Let's make a new tab here. Rename this to Scratch. Rename this to Design. Still don't know how we're going to show buildings. It's not something that I think you would use all that often. You would want to know when there's a building that is available, and you'd also want to know how much it costs or when you have enough money. Had a Microsoft keyboard? Yeah, the Microsoft Natural Ergonomic Keyboard 4000 or something, and then they renamed it to Microsoft Ergonomic Keyboard. Or maybe Surface Ergonomic Keyboard. Anyway, one of these. But if you just search Microsoft Ergonomic Keyboard, you'll find the one I used to have. Yeah. Interface in game. Someone shared a repository of this stuff the other day. Was it this site? I don't even remember at this point. Yeah, it was this site. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'll put this here. Other games. Oh yeah, so building stuff. So do we need to show each individual thing? I think this could be a drop-down menu and it would be fine for people. Drop-down menu and it would be fine. You can do for quest, pin quest to screen. Thing is, it's always all quests are the same in that they require 3 items and then just different quantities of those items. So we could just show it underneath your money or to the side of money or I don't know, somewhere. And it could just be a setting if you wanted, like game settings, show quest always. You could toggle it there. I think that'd be fine. Yeah. Things I'm not so sure about are where we're putting all these other things that we have. And then what about things like storage? I think at some point this is going to be a list of stuff and it's just going to show you the costs. Build tavern 50G. Build town hall 75G. Add vault storage. Add warehouse storage. What's the engine? The engine is Godot. Hey, Dan. Hope everyone's had a good holiday period. Ah, yeah, Stockton. Okay, different site, but same thing. Ah. Okay, I thought it was the same site. And sorry, Stockton, for forgetting. So other games, sites, this and this. And then specific examples. How do you open up the table of contents over here? There we go. Hey, Alexis. Yeah, I think this would be okay. And all of these could be buttons that just center the camera on the thing that they're supposed to do. Because they're all going to be signs. I guess this would all be stuff that's done through signs. We would have this be anything that corresponds to a sign in the game could go here. Explorer's Hut. Yeah. So the Enchanter's Den is the only kind of special one. And this is how you add a spell crystal. Oh, okay. How are you? And did I fix the issue? So the issue has been worked around. It was pretty much, they said, don't use the free API, which is too bad. And by the way, what I'm saying is not the free in price, but it's an API literally called free. And when you do this, it frees an object. They said just always use Qpree. So I fixed that this morning, and that's it. We are now never going to worry about that again. Okay, I think I'm feeling fine about this. I think when it comes to something like having tabs, I don't think we'd have that many options inside the tabs. So I'm not sure tabs would be necessary. Also, by having tabs, it means that you're only seeing one category of information at a time. And I think you'd want a glance at all of these. Does it require us to check if a node is queued for deletion? Yes, it does. And we did that now. I can translate your game to Turkish. How do I contact you for this? I'll just write it down. I have a section of stuff for this, so add this to the offers note. Yeah, thank you for offering. I don't know if we'll even have the success of the game to justify translating in any other languages, but if we do, yeah, I can reach out to you. I mean, I like the idea of a special quest UI. Until we have that, I think it's fine to just have a button that centers the camera. But it'd be nice to know when you have an action you can take. Maybe you could just say new quest available when you hover over the button. At first, we can just use buttons where relevant. We would just need to make it clear when there's a specific action. E.g. for quest, you would want to know when one is available, which is when we can make the button green and maybe add a tooltip saying quest available, click to center the camera on, yeah, on the tavern. Like I said, that wouldn't be the best UI. I just think it would be at least sufficient for this weekend. Wait, is it this weekend? Yeah, it's this weekend. Yeah, so we have two goals here. One is get things ready for Saturday. Wait, not, yeah. Yeah, I keep getting confused because we're going over year boundary and I'm like, that can't be January 4th, but it is. So yeah, this Saturday, in which case we have essentially like, 2 days to develop this thing and then get things ready for the final game. So for this Saturday, I think just having one button is probably reasonable. We can definitely code that. Honestly, even getting this to work by this Saturday is probably fine, but I just don't want to stretch it too much. So for quests, I think I'm happy enough with this. We would just have a button at first. It would show as green. Yeah. For this Saturday, just having a button for quests would be fine. Clicking it would center the camera on the tavern. What's on Saturday? Saturday is UX session number 1 for Checkpoint 5. That's the 4th. And then the 11th is going to be UX session number 2. And then the 17th is going to be the launch of Checkpoint number 5. So this, I've been saying checkpoint numbers. They're basically alpha versions. So it'll be version 0.5. And that's when everyone will be able to play this. I mean, everyone can play it right now, but it's an old version of it. So I want whatever friend I have playing this on Saturday to have this UI that we're talking about. And we just got to figure out what it's going to look like. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy enough with the quest thing. The adventurers thing, we already have the add skill points button here. And when you have a skill point, I think it highlights green. Yeah. So that will work. And you see these little pips for skill points. So there's at least some way of guiding you through the UI. There is no way of knowing that you can hire an adventurer though. And that's here. Do you want to hire another adventurer? So I think it'd be nice to have a button, and maybe it only shows up when you can hire an adventurer. It shouldn't only show up when you have the money. Like if I spend this money, I don't have it right now, but let's say I just grant myself the money. So now I have enough money to buy this, and I hire the mage. So I hire the mage. Now when I click this again, it just says I won't have any more adventurers for you until you defeat the next elite enemy. So now that button would just disappear in the UI, and I think that'd be fine. We could alternatively show that it's disabled in there. So this could say something like adventurers and then a hire new button. Yeah, I don't know. Adventurers. You can only hire 2 adventurers per boss in the game. Hang on one second. Thought I heard a knock at the door. You can only hire 2 adventurers per boss in the game. It's a pretty important action. It'd be nice to show that you have enough money. Maybe just by highlighting the button green. Like, I don't want to put a cost in the button, I think. So what if there were a hire adventurer button? When you have enough money, it turns green. When you don't have enough money, it's still enabled. No matter what, clicking it just centers the camera on the guildmaster. No, that's stupid. Clicking it will act like you clicked the guildmaster. Yeah. And eventually this dialogue will tell you who's speaking. So you'll see a picture of the guildmaster. And also eventually the guildmaster will look different from all of the other NPCs you have in town. Okay, again, this would work. It would work for Saturday, but it's not good. Yeah, having a button. Be green when you have an available quest. Have a single button for quests. Yep, cool. Adventurers. A button for adventurer skills. It does what the current one does. Have a button for hire adventurer. It's green when one is, or when you have enough money. And one is available. Regardless, clicking it is always possible and will act like you click the guildmaster. So that's Quest and Adventures. The building stuff, I still don't really have a conclusion for. I said the drop-down menu thing could work. What if, let me see something. What if it centered the camera and opened that dialogue? No, I think just centering the camera would probably be fine. That way you know where you're building this thing. That's actually pretty important. Should write that down. The reason why it's important to center the camera is so that you know where in the town the thing is. That may help you find it again in the future, especially if your workers and adventurers need to interact with that building. Usually imagine making the I don't know, weapon shop without realizing where it is, and then wondering where all your weapons are going. All right, so what do we have? Oh, town perks, that's right. Okay, so the final menu would look like this. And by the way, this is still I'm all over the place here, but I clearly am bad at this. So, yeah, hire adventurer quests buildings. No, it doesn't let you see the enchanter in here either. You need that spell casting UI. It doesn't show up when an adventurer when you've hired all available adventurers. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do about the enchanter, and I don't know what I want to do about the explorer. These probably shouldn't be in the main menu. I think the enchanter should have a special UI, like how the what was the other one? What was the other one? Oh, quest. Like how quest have a special UI. The explorer is a big question mark. You only buy hints from them, and the hints don't even show in that UI. They show on the map. Yeah, yeah. I'm not really happy with. Not really happy with this yet. I do think a special UI is what we should do though. Probably need a special spellcasting UI, mana bar, icons for active spells, show remaining times underneath them, and then a way to cast the spells. Maybe this just centers the camera on the spell books. Or maybe there are hotkeys. I think the centering the camera thing for the spell books would be bad. But I don't know if this is something that should always be on screen. The way it works right now is you have 3 spell books. This is your mana bar. It's a crystal that fills up. And if you click a spell, like this green one, it'll turn this crystal green and then take out some of your mana. And now this is active for the next 24 seconds. I think you'd want to be able to see this on the screen somehow. I'm just not sure how. Like we have an in-world UI for it, which I don't know, that's cool, but it means that you have to be looking at this section of the screen in order, well, this section of the map in order to use one of these spells. And maybe the effect is something that's taking place over here. Like you're making customers move faster when you do this, but there are no customers near that, so you don't see the effect. Hey, Goose, is it worth fixing the new bug before Saturday? I haven't taken a look. 551. Go in battle panel and click close. Start battle button will reappear. Battle panel is close to something else like skill tree or town perks. The button never appears. To click the portal. Yeah, it's probably worth fixing. Yeah. Should be pretty quick to fix too. Can you add icons for those spells on the screen in the corner and show a timer when it ends? Yeah. It can be done. I don't know what it should look like exactly. So you can have up to, can I not do this? I can't do this. Yeah, you can have up to 3 spells cast, and they could be 3 of the same spell. Like I can click the blue one twice and then the orange one. And now I have 2 of the shopping spree spells and 1 of the loot magnet spells. Or you could have all 3. So there's got to be a way to show you which ones are active and also show you which ones you can cast. So I guess the way I'm kind of picturing it is you have a mana bar and then active spells. So it looks something like, this. Imagine this says whatever, 290 out of 300. And then you have some active spells here. So there'd be, maybe you see something like this. And that's it. That's as simple as a UI could be to let you know the current information. It wouldn't let you cast new spells. To cast the new spells, you need to see the 3 different book icons somewhere. Yeah. Because this is sort of like what we have in the game. It's blue, green, orange. And I just cast, 2 blues and a green. Not that the colors matter exactly. But this is the current information and then some way to cast the spells. I don't know. Yeah, might as well paste this into here. Yeah, honestly, even this might work. Keep it as simple as this. These are buttons to cast new spells. These are your current spells. Hovering would show, or yeah. Okay, I think I'm fine with that. So then the Explorer is the only questionable one. So the Explorer in the game is way off in the corner. And all they do is... Wait a second. Oh yeah, I already have a thing to put this in a non-world space. Hey, Shoe Strikers. All they do is let you buy hints for the bosses that you might not be able to beat. Was a window wall is this huge? It's just inside camera space. I just haven't changed it yet. So yeah, anyway, when you buy it, it says you can see these in the map view. I think the usability of this needs to be improved a little bit, but I think also, like, you only really need to know about this when you lose a boss battle. In fact, you can't even get this until you've lost a boss battle. Yeah, I feel like this should show up in the available actions. Yeah, I think that's the best thing. So if you unlock the Explorer and you lost a boss battle, then we can show the hint thing in the actions. If you eventually win that boss battle, we would probably hide that a hint is available, since you probably wouldn't care at that point and wouldn't want it to constantly show up. Yeah. Yeah. So then where would it show? I mean, we've talked about right now. I keep going to a different Chrome tab instead of a different document tab. Maybe a hints thing. It'd be 6 buttons that would show up in there. Although this one would rarely show up. So I guess, and I guess this one would also rarely show up. So most of the time it'd be 4 buttons showing up. And even buildings, maybe we just hide unless there is a building you can build. Although most of the time that would be the case. So you'd have 3 showing pretty much always. And then these ones would be optional. So higher adventurer, buildings, and hints would only show up conditionally. All right. I feel like I've never done UI design the proper way. And that I'm still falling short of what I should be doing. I don't think we need this open anymore. And yeah, what we settle on were just some quick buttons. Really, for Saturday, it's fine. But like I said, we had 2 goals, and one of them is to design it for what the final game ends up being. I just don't have great ideas. I think this concept of look at what other games have done, I've always been torn on this. And actually, I literally just wrote a note the other day about this, but in my game design note, inventing things from scratch. And I think this is worth talking about a bit, but I said for most of my hobby and career, I've tried to invent where I can. It's impossible to forget every game you played, so I recognize I'm influenced by other games, but I wasn't leaning into it. But I think it's also at the point now where gamers have expectations for how you would play a game and what those games contain. And I think there's some amount of like, don't worry too much about the expectations. When it comes to gameplay, for example, if you do something that people haven't seen before, that could be a good thing. When it comes to UI, I generally think it's not a good thing. I think it's like people generally expect in a game, if you press the escape key, you're probably going to see a menu. And the menu is probably how you're going to control the audio and the video and everything else. And if that's not there, then you've probably confused a bunch of people for no really good reason. Anyway, there are other UI paradigms that people probably generally expect. So it's like a skill tree. What do you expect out of a skill tree? Probably to see how many skill points you have, how many are in each skill, what the skill descriptions are, what the prerequisites are. Like all that's information that you'd expect in a pretty condensed way at this point. So if you had never seen a skill tree before and you're trying to design one, you got to solve all those problems for the first time. And yeah, I feel like we're bumping into that now. And I am like, let me try to come up with what I would do on my own in isolation, knowing that it probably won't be the best. But then when you look at how other games did this, and I don't want to just take what they've done, and I recognize that's not what anyone's suggesting. It's just figure out what they did and how they did it. Hey, Stilling, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you too. Also, it's totally fine if anyone's like not around for some time. I recognize life gets busy and everything, and I know some people lurk or just check in from time to time. It's nice to just know people are out there. Also, that's interesting. After clicking grant most things, the sign doesn't reposition itself. It's a very minor bug. Minor bug, build the warehouse, then click grant most things. Sign doesn't reposition itself. Hey, Orandre. Speaking of lurkers, we're all just numbers out here and names and sometimes chat messages. Looked up stuff on the game UI database before. You have to kind of tailor your own UI to the complexity and functions of your game. Yeah, definitely. But I think what I'm getting at is it's worth figuring out how other games do this to get ideas. Because my ideas are basically just let's throw a bunch of buttons in this spot. And like, if we even just look at The Sims, for example, they had buttons at the bottom here with icons, but then clicking it popped up a little thing. And I think if I'm recalling correctly, this would show up until you closed it. Like you'd have to click another tab or you'd have to click that same tab to get it to close. That could be a nice way of doing things. Lurking as usual. Thanks for the resub, Orange Ray. Happy 38 months. Kind of need to borrow ideas from other games, especially when you're starting out with UI. You need to build up a knowledge of good patterns and principles. We're going to invent original UI. Yeah. Argue there are no good, usable, original UI ideas anymore. Yeah. I mean, I agree that when it comes to building up any knowledge, it's like either you invent it from scratch or you look at what other people did and learn from it. Hey, Sinistella. Cheetah's hiding in trees. But you're not the prey today, Sinistella. You're not the prey. Oh, wait, this is what I talked about for the buildings thing, though, isn't it? I just didn't talk about stickiness or anything. Yeah, I wrote in buildings, but I didn't talk about what it does. All right, I think having it be a hover menu would make it kind of finicky. So let's write this here. Buildings. Clicking the buildings button would show a panel with contents like this. An individual purchase button would be green if you have enough money. And clicking the button would would pan the camera to the signpost where you can build that thing. Hey Reed, I'm doing well. I always check how long has it been. It's been 2 months, 14 days. Not too terribly long. And then before that, it was also 2 months. But yeah, I'm doing well. How have your holidays been? So, did you like to do the pop up menu kind of thing? At least for buildings, I would. So, let me draw out what we're kind of leaning toward right now so that it's at least a little bit clearer and I can use this. All right, so we zoom out here, we go over to button. All right, what do we got? Let's close out of all these other tabs. What is this tab? No, don't need that. So adventurers, hire adventurer, adventurers, hire adventurer. Probably capitalize this. Probably give this a little bit more breathing room. Okay, what else? Town perks, quest buildings, hints. Town perks, quests, buildings, and hints. Okay, so buildings. Gonna open up a UI panel. I guess I should say the panel stays open until its contents are empty or until you click the buildings button again. Well, we'll see in 2 months, I guess. We will. All right, so this pops up a panel. I guess we could do something like this. We need to send this backward. Yeah. And then this would say something like Town Hall 50G and Tavern 75G. Oh, what? Probably should say in here what this stuff represents, huh? Is there a label somewhere? Yeah. Available buildings. Where's the text size? There. All right, anyway, something like this. Which things did I work on in Android Studio? It was largely an automated testing framework that was meant to be used by other developers of Android Studio, not developers using Android Studio. So imagine if I were working on Chrome, there'd be some test for like the new tab stuff that would need to go through some test framework. And that was the majority of what I worked on there. So adventurers, higher adventurers, town perks, quest, center, hints. Yeah, so 3 of these buttons don't always show. How would you represent that something is conditional, I wonder? Maybe just color. Then just for the mock-up. I'm gonna turn this off. All right, so how do we change the color? Background color? If I just make this blue, does this work? No, that's not what I want. That's really bad. How do we do that? Edit style? Oh, neat. They just show the CSS there. I don't know how to change. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was easy. I was on the wrong tab. Yeah. So let's have it be like yellow is conditional. So that'll show conditionally, that'll show conditionally, and that'll show conditionally. And then we'll just add a label here. Yellow equals shows up conditionally. So this wouldn't actually be yellow in the UI. And then yeah, buildings pops up this panel. Maybe we even have a close button up here. Something like this. Anything else that we need to talk about? We could actually, can we paste in images? I don't know if we can. But if we can, then we can put these directly in the mockup. Want to resize larger images? Yeah, sure, resize it. All right, now we make this really tiny because the point is not to show the whole UI. Can I get rid of this stuff? Only kind of. Oh, this is already a mess. Is this an infinite canvas? If I just, yep, it is. Okay, cool. All right, so we want to drag all of this stuff down here so we have more space. So adventurers is going to open up this. How do arrows work? There. All right, adventures opens up that. Higher adventure, what does that do? I think it's just going to pop up the guild dialogue. But I already have all the adventurers, so we need to go back to here. Okay. Paste that in. Resize this. Put an arrow there. Okay, town perks. We already have a town perks thing. I guess I don't need the whole dialogue to pop up. It can just be this. All right, shrink this. Oh, neat. It actually moves that. This is the worst way to do this stuff. You think that's going to stop me, though? No. All right, available buildings. I want all of this stuff to be like one group. Is there a way to do that? Group. All right, so that goes there. And then a label. And we say this just centers the camera on the tavern for now. There we go. And then hints. What does that do? Did I write that down? What does that do? Show the hint thing in the actions. To win that boss battle. So it'd only be for the battle you lost. Have you heard about Excalibur? Yeah, I have. The time is coming to make a switch soonish from Android or like just different realm entirely, like from development. I'm guessing you just mean a different part of development, but I also think you probably mean not mobile anymore, and not just the switch to iOS. So yeah, what should happen when you click this button? It could pop up. It could pop up this dialogue. Having trouble beating elite monster. Yeah, I think that's good. I think you just pop that up. Cool. So let's take a picture of this. Hints will just be general helpful tips. It's specific to beating bosses, and they're not actually that helpful, but they will be eventually. We need to just find the locations. Oh, this doesn't know that we found them. I think there's a problem with that dialogue. Anyway, you click buy on these things, and now on the map, you'll be able to see the hints at the bottom there. This is a hint, try not using a summoner. So it's better than nothing. And we can eventually make them even more helpful. Okay. So that's how all of this stuff would work. Yeah. Now, for the sake of being able to take a screenshot that isn't so tall, actually, who cares? Yeah, who cares? Can I save this whole thing as a screenshot? Export as ping. I probably want to get rid of the blank spaces. I don't know if it's going to automatically do that, but it's easy enough to just move everything up. That did not work. What happened? Why do I have two of those? Whoa. Whoa, what is going on there? All right, let's try that again. I select all of this and I move it up. Yeah, looks fine. All right, let's try saving. Appearance, light or dark. Doesn't really matter. All right, export. Where device. Sure. What's that look like? Yeah, nice. That's it. That's all I wanted. Hey, Matt. All right, so we're going to put this into the design, and we're going to put this as the mock-up. Yeah. Yeah. I had a good weekend. Played a lot of Slay the Spire. I'm getting a little more frustrated. I've been focusing on just one character, and this is going to be gibberish for people who don't know Slay the Spire, but I've been playing the defect, and I got to Ascension level 17 and got to the final boss, and I had 7 cards in my deck at that point, well, remaining, and I needed one of them, and I didn't get it, and I died. And I'm like, oh man, I got to do this again. But yeah, it's getting harder and harder to just like start a run. And I'm like, do I want to do this another whatever it is 3 times and then with another 3 characters? Caves of Qued. I've heard about that game. I looked into it on Steam. Development lasted for quite a long time. It's got pretty good reviews too, or at least it did when I looked. Does it still? I don't know if I'd find that kind of game fun. Where's, hang on a second, where is this on Steam? There it is. Yeah, reviews are really good. It's amazing. It's like Skyrim, but better. You can handle the turn-based art style. I'm not even I'm not even sure what I want out of the next game that I play. There's a free game on Epic that looks pretty good. It's free for today. Where is it? Free. Where is it? Yeah, this game, Redacted. You know, I never looked at it. Redacted on Steam. Are the reviews good? Yeah, they're good. The art style looked pretty nice. It reminds me of Borderlands. It's cell shaded. Wait, is this multiplayer? No. I'm actually kind of surprised. This has hardly any reviews. Oh, released in October. Okay, so it's only really been 2 months. My coworker will not stop talking about Caves of Quad. I mean, the game I'm really waiting to have launch is this game. This game looks amazing. Oh my God, the developer's making the game right now? It's a pretty handsome developer. I think that's a reason to buy the game when it comes out. All right, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I think we could spend some more time and get this better, but I think this is probably what we'll do at first. There's still enough to code here that this will probably take through to Wednesday, if I had to guess. I'll look at that. Thanks for the suggestion. It's a good suggestion. All right, so code this stuff. I do think we should consolidate both of these issues. So I'm going to do some logistical work. I don't think we're going to start coding until probably post-lunch. If I wishlisted, do I get it free? Maybe. Yeah, I wonder if I should do giveaways or something. There's one problem with that, and only one problem, which is on Steam. If you go to any game, let's go to, I don't know, Valheim, that it will mark your review as you got this for free. Where is, I don't know how to find it. Okay, well, anyway, maybe it doesn't even show for Valheim. But yeah, it'll say something like user received this for free. And I don't know if people discount those reviews. When I see this for an indie game, I almost always have one conclusion, and it's that person knows the dev. And to me, it means that if their review is positive, it should probably not be counted as much. In my mind, I'm not saying Valve should do something differently. If they have a negative review and they received it for free, then it makes me think they got this game in a giveaway and they didn't like it. So either way, it makes me discount their review. And I wonder how many other people think the same way when they're looking through Steam. Technically, we never met. Yeah, that's true. That's not really what I mean. Yeah. You should write that in your review. Technically, we never met, so please count my review. I think it's a conflict of interest. I mean, we all like free stuff, but it's best to not do a giveaway. Well, but what I'm saying is, even when it's negative, so the conflict of interest is for the positive side of things, right? Like, I know Adam, I like Adam, I don't like the game, but I'm still going to review the game highly. That's a conflict of interest. But it's like, I like Adam, I got the game for free, I actually don't like the game. Even then, I would see user received game for free, and I would fill in the blank myself as, oh, they just got this on some like promotional sale or something like that, and or they want to give away, and they're like, yeah, well, that wasn't a game for me. We're best friends. 5 out of 5. Yeah, and there is some amount of how far are you willing to go outside of your genre for anything, any kind of media, a book, a movie, a game, and still enjoy that. So most people, I would guess, have probably a narrow-ish range of, and I guess songs, a narrow-ish range of any of the stuff that they consume. So like if you, I'm going to stop listing things, but there, TV shows. If I consider what TV shows do I like, it's generally things like sci-fi, comedy, a very minor extent drama. But like, I do not like documentaries, right? How good would a documentary have to be for me to like it? And oh, hey, Blood Knight. Sorry, I missed your message. Thank you for adding it to your wish list. I appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, with games, it's the same thing, right? Some people might like first-person shooters and sports games or something, and then they're presented with like a JRPG. Are they gonna like that? Probably not. So how good does the game have to be for everyone to end up liking it? My whole point here is just that if you get a game for free, what are the odds it's even in the genre that you like or a genre that you like? Because I think people are predisposed to those genres that they already like. On Steam, you can mark reviews as received for free manually. I don't know if you can uncheck that if you got a key anyway. Actually, yeah, I've never written a review on Steam, so I don't know how that works. But if you're gifted a game, does that count as getting it for free? Because you didn't pay for it, but someone did. As opposed to when the developer gives you the game, then nobody paid for it. Well, opportunity cost. I wouldn't play that kind of game, not in any games at all, but the game should be really good to try it. When you say that kind of game, are you talking about Skeleseller or Caves of Quad? I gotta get to the game. Let me check. Yeah. I'm curious about that. It's tightly based on what you mark while reviewing. So it's not an automatic thing? I assumed that Steam knew. I guess they could only know that you got a key, not whether you paid for it. I know there are gray market sites that sell keys. When writing a review, there's a little checkbox. Check this box if you receive this product for free. So it's entirely the honor system. I did not know that. Do I have a Steam note? Because if so, I should write this down in there. No. Well, maybe I have a private note. I'll write it down to look into my private notes tomorrow. Right in my Steam note. That's, yeah. I'll just paste exactly what Joker Dan said. I do now. Well, I might already have one and it's just in my private notes. Because I'm pretty sure I do. Because I did a bunch of stuff on Steam. And I know I wrote that somewhere. So for me, the whole got this product for free, I disregard for my thought process when reading anyway. Because you know that it's not automatic. Yeah. People could just lie about it either way. I wonder, okay, hang on. I'm trying to think, how does that change my mind if it's opt-in and you might have lied about it. So you might not have gotten it for free, but that would only make me further discredit you in my head. So yeah, I think it doesn't change my opinion, but I do think it means that I could give the game out for free. It changes my opinion as a developer, not as a consumer. That's what I think. As a consumer, I still feel like I wouldn't put a lot of stock into those reviews, but as a dev, it means I can give the game out for free and not have the scarlet letter on those reviews. Yeah. Hey, Grace. Going pretty well. Hey, Star Fox. Yeah, I generally disregard the reviews too. Well, let me just say I look at them critically. So if they have some fair points about like, well, the graphics are nice, but the music isn't nice, like, yeah, I'd probably put some stock in that because it'd show that they could be balanced. But if they're just like, this is the best game ever, I love this game, then yeah, I probably wouldn't care too much about it. Tell me having it for free didn't influence a review. I think the only time you can trust that statement is if you know or have built some kind of trust with the reviewer. Yes, exactly. So there's a reviewer I watch on YouTube. I think his name is Bad Seed Tech. And yeah, this guy. He has the same general disclaimer in all of his sponsored videos. And I definitely do trust him. He says, like, I was paid for this video, but they're paying for my time. They don't even get to see the video beforehand, and I'm not going to change my opinions. And in a small number of those videos, he like rips the product apart. So he got paid by the company to be like, this is a bad product. And that's part of what builds trust. Personally, I don't disregard it. I just don't care about the got for free. Yeah. And to live by the norm that you can't make everyone happy. Yeah, I agree. Also, I think that's a pretty important realization for everyone. You hear this constantly, not constantly, but you hear it a lot, even when you're growing up. And I've always heard it as you can't please everyone. I think everyone has heard this, but how many people have internalized this? And how many people are still trying to make a game that's gonna satisfy all different types of gamers, or they, I don't know, they walk on eggshells around people or anything like that. So yeah, I think internalized it as a game developer. I think the thing I haven't internalized yet is the whole how do you find the perfect niche for the game and then lean into that, and how do you know when you're leaning into that? Because I've always thought about this in terms of there are a few styles of like a least common denominator game, and I think of Candy Crush as a game like that. Candy Crush is a game that I think anyone could pick up and play. You're not all gonna like it, but it's made a ton of money. And I think the reason it's made a ton of money is it's very simple. It makes you feel like you're good at the game, and there's a lot of juice and effects in the game. And I think other games with that sort of wide appeal are generally, I'd say, like simple games. And yeah, I think it's mostly simple games. And again, this goes for like all forms of media as well. Like think of like why was Harry Potter so successful? And Harry Potter is targeted at kids, yet has something for adults. It's pretty accessible in terms of language, in terms of concepts, in terms of really anything like plot. Um, and it covers a sort of fantasy that probably most kids have, which is like, what if magic were real? What if I were magical? Also, it's super accessible. People just played it via Facebook. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's where people are. It's. I think it's free to play. I think there are a lot of things that sort of allowed it to work. I think it's a good example of why you need a good UI too. Those games always nail the UI to make it feel easy and good. Yeah. Yeah, I think there are probably games out there with obtuse UI that still did pretty well. In fact, actually, I think Terraria sort of fits into that. I played with a couple of friends. Hang on. Excuse me. I played with a couple of friends and they sort of struggled with it in terms of UI. Although one actually just didn't like the game in general. But and then the other friend I was playing with was just trashing all of their items constantly because they were. I think it's like control click trashes items and shift click sells items or something. So they just like trash 40 items at once. I don't think Terraria has a horrible UI. I think it's not doing it any favors probably. I don't think it's like Candy Crush. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think it is either. I think it's different in that sense. I don't think it appeals to the least common denominator. I think Terraria is a more complex game and a more difficult game. And I know I'm really deviating a lot from my whole let's make UI thing, but I've always thought of like co-op games in general. Co-op means you're on the same team, and yet what if you have people at different skill levels? And how does it balance those skill levels, or how does it lean into it? And some games are just brutal. There was what game was it that was released? Oh God, I don't remember what it was. Some team-based roguelike game. But anyway, when one player died, apparently all the other players, it acted like they had 1 HP left, and any hit would kill them. And I don't remember what game this was. It's something new. Anyway, that sucks, right? That's like if you're playing with someone who's a lower skill level than you and they die through no fault of your own, then now you're probably going to die because the game is in like super ultra sudden death mode. And my wife and I played a couple of games together and they worked. Like Stardew Valley worked, and we played this game called Played Up recently, and that was like good enough. But I'd like to play Terraria with her, and I just don't think it's possible. Like she didn't grow up with games, and I think she'd find it tough. And there's no like, as far as I know, there's no built-in difficulty setting that'll lower it for one player and have it raised for another. But even if you did that, is it fun to play? How do you find the difficulty level that's correct? Mods can probably do it, but yeah, how much does it change the experience? I think a lot of time UIs struggle when they do something different. The whole yellow paint debate is a thing with this. Yellow crit markers, flashing red enemies, glowing paper. Yeah. I see Joker Dan. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in Terraria. I definitely know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I like there's generally been a push for accessibility in games. And there was a big conversation on Twitter a while ago about what does it mean to have a difficulty slider in basically any game with difficulty? So should Dark Souls be a game that, someone can play who's terrible at video games and still get through the experience? Or is Dark Souls intended to be a hard game that is supposed to punish you for basically everything? And sometimes you'll just get to the point where you're like, I just can't do it, and you give up. And that's how pretty much every old game worked. There might have been some difficulty sliders, but you just get to a point where you just couldn't handle it anymore. And some of the classic examples are like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on NES and the Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Goblins or whatever. And even games like Super Metroid, I think they're just hard at some point. And yeah, a lot of people just couldn't beat them. So yeah, what would it mean if those games were easier? Elden Ring solved this. They added spirit ashes and totally broken weapons and systems allow you to scale things to your liking, but there's still a learning curve. Man, I haven't played Elden Ring, but I think they released a new patch or DLC or something, and like everyone was struggling. And the game developer said, "We put ways to help you in the game. Just go use those ways." Thought it was funny from the sideline. Okay, so I still want to do this. I need to just ponder this. I'm gonna write ponder this. Maybe talk to Funky Monkey about what's hard for me here. Ask for help in changing my approach. And write a note that in general, your first two steps should be what is my information architecture and what have other games slash products done before me. Yeah, I think this is really good. I think this is the thing. Having a process is something you can always follow. The process might be hard to do each individual step, but like go figure out your information architecture. That's a very simple thing to state and to at least get you started with. Maybe you find out it's a tough problem, but at least the process is easy. So yeah, I think this process is simple enough. And I think writing it down could help me in the future. Star Fox Adventures. That was the game with oh God, what's her name? Crystal the Fox or something. I did not like that game. But was that the game? Star Fox Adventures. Yeah, oh man, I didn't like this game. I bought it and it was just such a letdown. This was a game that it was sort of like Metroid Prime, in my opinion. Metroid Prime was like, oh, I love Super Metroid. I can't wait to play another Metroid game. And then it turned into a first person shooter, and I'm like, why can't I see Samus? And Star Fox Adventures was a game where I was like, I'm used to playing in Star Fox in a ship and in tanks and in a submarine. And then I got to this game and I'm like, I don't want to see Fox. I want to see a spaceship. All right, I still have not consolidated these two things. So we see all purchasable things, hiring, training. Okay, so we've done that and that and that and this combined with this. Okay, what we talked about here? Pans the camera, having this all. Yep, sounds good. Okay, so let's just consolidate these two things into one. Let's take the earlier issue, which is this one. So closing this in favor of 479. Done. Consolidate all actionable items into one UI location. Save. Talks about upgrades and hiring adventurers. That's part of this now too. And then we just need this document. Made a document and a mock-up for this here. Maybe I should paste in the mock-up. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Does this all contribute to my like GitHub storage? Never really looked into that, but where's the untitled artwork? Here it is. All right, just waiting for this to upload. There we go. Here's the mock-up to prevent having to go to another document, I guess. Mock-up. Oops, that's not right. That's the wrong picture. Where's the right one? Untitled diagram. There it is. That was artwork that my wife did for the intro of the game that I never, she never finished, so I never actually put it in the game. All right, there's the mock-up. All right, so now it's just 479. We don't need anything else here. Quest progress. Panel near the tavern is absorbing this. All right, yeah, we're looking pretty good. I gotta assign this to myself. And we should probably do PRs tomorrow. All right, let me read chat, and then it'll probably be lunchtime soonish. Game a while back, it would notice if you run into constant challenges and lower the difficulty. So I think one of the Mario games did this. Like if you died 3 times on a level, it would start you with a star. I think it was New Super Mario Bros. Yeah. Yeah, I think button mashing is a silly concept in a lot of games too. I remember, I think the worst offender of this that I can think of was Crystalis. Button mashing. I think they actually made it easier for you though when you did it the second time. There was some, it's not showing up here. Anyway, yeah, it was this character, you literally just had to press the A button a bunch of times. And it hurt to try to input it that quickly. At Dungeon Crawler, I struggled so much with creating a tutorial that consisted more than just press X to do Y. I think good tutorials are very tough to do. And I think a good tutorial is subtle and you don't even realize it's a tutorial. And it steers you in ways without you knowing that you're being steered, which I guess plays into subtlety. I think Breath of the Wild did this well. The whole Great Plateau is just like tutorial island. You can't leave it, which was important. There are some basic things you learn about, like temperature and shrines and marking things on your map. And you still get exploration. You can do it in any order. You can explore this at your leisure. And it takes about, I'd say like 90 minutes for new gamers. I watched a lot of people play Breath of the Wild. And yeah, it takes them somewhere between like 1 to 2 hours. And I think people talk about Portal a lot when it comes to tutorials. Like there were ways in which they got you to look up or down and see where things were in the room. Just subtle things that guided your attention. What'll be your next game after Skeleseller? I think it's going to be a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I'm being serious, by the way. I've been thinking about this idea for a long time. I need to put a lot of design work into it, but then I think it'll be a fun thing to make and a fun thing to play. And it'll be different from what people have played already, but not being so crazy different that it's going to be hard to market, I think. I don't have difficulty, but I value my button life. Yeah. Yeah, I remember turbo controllers back in the N64 days. Is this FPV? What does that mean? First person view. Oh, the next game? No, probably not. Not even sure it's possible to beat it. They made it easier in subsequent tries. Yeah, maybe it isn't possible, but that's also kind of a bad thing to do, right? Make an impossible task that someone's trying their hardest and then say, oh, now try again. But we secretly made it easier. Yeah. I mean, a lot of old games didn't have so much to base things on. and they did things that they thought were good ideas at the time that turned out to not be good ideas. Like the classic Star Tropics, dip the instruction book into water. Not the instruction book, but a sheet that came with it. And it'll reveal a number on a sheet of paper. If you ever rented the game, you wouldn't have it. If you lost it, you wouldn't have it. You'd have to guess upwards of 1,000 numbers to figure it out. Just so funny. Probably seemed like a great idea, though. Yeah, all right. Well, we got the afternoon stuff cut out for us. So let's write in the journal here. Skeleseller spent the morning designing how the available actions UI will look. Spent the afternoon coding it. I'm writing it like we've already done that, but we haven't yet. Isn't there a Dragon Warrior that had ridiculously complex systems too? I don't know. I've only played a few. I think I played like Dragon Warrior 2 and Dragon Warrior Monsters. And I think I tried Dragon Quest Builders. Is that what it was called? Yeah. I think it was on Game Pass at some point, and I tried this out, and I was like, whoa, this is so slow. This is not the game for me. And then I read reviews, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. They confirmed that I shouldn't have kept playing. But I've always liked the art style of the Dragon Warrior games. Was it Toriyama who did that? Dragon Warrior artist. What? Yeah, I think it was Toriyama. Yeah. Tried to like Dragon Quest Builders so much, but it was just so boring. Yeah, it was boring from the very beginning. And then I got to something else and I was just like, I just don't care. There are a lot of times when games, if they present a certain level of complexity to me, I'm out. I'm like, I deal with complexity on a day-to-day basis with my job. I'm not going to do this with a game. That's why I can't play factory games. Some really PC games doing it for copy protection. Yeah, at least that was, well, maybe that's why Nintendo did it too. I think they were kind of anti-rentals, excuse me. Tried it before digging into reviews. Always looking for cross-play games. Yeah, thankfully, I have Game Pass and it lets me try out a bunch of games that I otherwise would have bought and then realized this is not worth it for me. I tried the most recent one I think I tried was Plate Up, and it just wasn't very fun. A lot of weird decisions in that game. But Slay the Spire I'm playing through Game Pass as well, and that game I've put quite a lot of hours into. I only started like 2 weeks ago. Need to input map cores from a cloth map you got. I watched someone play Breath of the Wild recently on Twitch, like a month ago, and he learned about a cooking recipe in the game, and he took out a sheet of paper and wrote what the cooking recipe was. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this reminds me of the NES days, NES Zelda instruction book. A lot of instruction books back in the day had, let me show you this. Toward the end of it, they had, oh wait, what? Am I misremembering this? I thought there was like a notes section. What? Am I? Or did they just exclude it from here? They had like a bunch of blank pages. Huh. Maybe I'm just wrong about that. I could have sworn. No, yeah, it's the same number of pages. Okay. As being able to go, yeah, I saw their blog post back before I'd even played the game about them trying it out. Yeah. I think I remember seeing one like that before too. I could have sworn it was Zelda though. What am I thinking of then? NES instruction books with notes sections. Hmm. I mean, it would have to be an adventure kind of game. Maybe Final Fantasy? I'll just look at Final Fantasy and then if that doesn't have it, Final Fantasy. Okay. Found the instruction book. I don't see notes. Huh. I'm not making this up. There's got to be at least one instruction book that had a notes section. All right. Well, look, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get lunch. When I come back, I'm gonna start working on the code for this stuff. I think it'll be fun to do the code for this. Also, I mean, the UI is gonna be simple enough where I think it should be fine to do that too. This will probably bleed into Wednesday. I think that's okay. I think this is the most important remaining task for checkpoint 5. So yeah, making stuff up again. That's me, liar extraordinaire. All right, I am gonna end the stream for this. Normally I'd have Animal Rail play out or something, but I don't think we're gonna do that. So I will get going. I'll see you all in about an hour. I hope you have a good rest of your day if I don't see you again. And yeah, we'll do some coding later.